What's going on, Kalika? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy, Belligerence. Like, comment, share, and or subscribe. Okay, so we are now at the fifth installment of the video. This is number 5, right? All right. So number 5, we are going to go back and I'm going to do the yeah. I'm gonna go back and I think I'm gonna do the same spread that I normally do. All right, so basically, if you haven't seen the previous videos, this video is about doing shadow work and all that other good stuff. Let me see here. Yeah, it's about shadow work, the ego, and all that good stuff, right? So I did videos 1 through 4. This video is for if you pick number 5 out of 8. I don't know if you saw the first video or not, but each video, when I did my very first video, I said that I was going to pull pretty much 8 cards or whatever, but I knew if I had to pull for 8, the videos were just going to be too long, so I broke it up into 8, right? Okay, so basically pile 5, well, yeah, place 5. Let's find out what's going on with your ego and the shadow work. You got a 4 of Swords in reverse. You got the 6 of Cups in reverse. You got Haunted in reverse, and you have Saint Germain, karma, releasing karma. You are being told your ego wants you to move past some kind of drama and make room for better energy. Look like you got some good karma coming in. You are protected here. I see what was that? You have multiple angelic forces that are on your side. You have Metatron out here for you. You have Castiel out here for you. You have Hanael out here for you. You have the all-seeing eye, which would be the Holy Spirit, connected with Sandalphon. You look like you might even have some kind of Egyptian bloodline ancestors that are rocking with you in the spiritual realm. Saint Germain, I can't remember everything about Saint Germain, but I do know that it was something about the sword of Saint Germain, right? Where he used like a certain kind of sword to cut ties. So you might be called to do like a cord cutting, in which you ask the Most High God to send forth Saint Germain to use use Saint Germain's sword to cut cords and stuff that don't serve you any longer in the spiritual realm, or even just give it to your ancestors so that they may cut clear and remove cords that don't serve you or that you've outgrown, or that kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't have to do a cord cutting for people. Sometimes it's like old lessons and things like that you can do cord cutting with. And you might have to cut and release yourself from certain cycles and stuff like that, but you can use like a cord cutting ceremony to do it. You also have the 4 of Swords out here in reverse here. With the 4 of Swords here, it gives me the vibe of you recovering yourself, or you're trying to recover or something. Your ego is telling you it's time for you to release stuff that don't serve you, leave the drama alone, and start focusing on your recovery. Okay, you got Haunted in reverse here. With the Haunted card in reverse, it gives me the vibe that there's something you haven't forgiven yourself for, that you're holding on to. It's kind of like you're haunting yourself, or there's something internally that you're holding on to that still needs to come to the surface. All right, it's coming, but the thing is that you still need like a little oomph to finish getting the rest of whatever this is to come to the surface, so that you can cleanse and clear it out. And then you have the 6 of Cups out here in the reverse. This has to do with being stuck in the past. Yeah, you haven't forgiven yourself about something from the past. Whatever this is, you are definitely being called to forgive yourself, or show yourself some kind of compassion. So let's see what you are holding on to from the past, because whatever this is blocking the same space that the Most High needs to bring in a blessing into it. So let's see what this is very quick. You got the Hermit card in reverse. You got the Eight of Swords in reverse. The Star card. The Hierophant. The Three of Pentacles out here. The Justice card. The World card. The Knight of Swords in reverse. The Page of Cups in reverse. The Six of Wands in the upright. And at the bottom of the deck, you got Ten of Swords out here. It kind of gave me the vibe that in the past you did something, you were betrayed by somebody, or you felt like somebody betrayed you, or you just felt like you were just let me see here. Yeah, there was something that you either failed to do, or something that, you know, it kind of gave me the vibe like you were supposed to take action on something here, and whatever it was that you failed to act on in a timely manner, it kind of like got you caught up in your head. Okay, whether this is yeah, it could be whatever this ending was. It was like it caused a deep wound. So this could involve somebody else, where it's like, you know, maybe you guys were in a relationship, or you work with somebody, or whatever it may be. But it just gave me the vibe that in the past, you're somebody is stuck still living in the past over something that was don't serve them anymore. So now's the time to cut and clear your cord, you know. And a lot of people, yeah, it's time for you to cut that cord, whatever this is. The longer you hold on to this cord, the longer you allow this cord to operate in your life, the more it's going to drag you through the dirt to get where, you know, drag you through the dirt, basically, right? And it's going to drag you into places you wouldn't ordinarily go because of the low vibration energy that you're in. And you are giving the situation power and authority over you. You see what I'm saying? And, you know, and that's not a good thing, right? So you got the Hermit card in reverse here. So with the Hermit card, it kind of gave me the vibe of you, I don't know, like in the past, you could have, like, I was thinking something else. The card talks about isolation, but it don't feel like isolation. It don't feel like you isolated yourself from other people or anything like that. It just kind of feel like you are in a situation where, I don't know, like maybe you was in a relationship with somebody, and what ended up happening was you were always doubting and second guessing yourself of when you were with this person. It's almost like, yeah, definitely. Okay, I see why the Hermit is out here. It is definitely about losing your way, some kind of way, but maybe it's because you put so much energy into somebody else that it caused you to like lose your way. And then when it was finally over, you were free to go. Like you could like manifest or do whatever you wanted to go. You were free to go, right? Now, even though you were like, you know, you're freed or whatever, it just kind of gave me the vibe that it was more like once you guys broke up, it's kind of like you were doing all these things to I guess live up to an expectation that you gotten over it. It's kind of like you were lying to yourself, saying like, oh, I'm over this person, I don't deal with them, I'm over it, whatever. I'm living my best life, I'm going out, I'm going traveling more. That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting from this right here. It's like you started going out more, you started hanging out a lot more. You know, you went from in a relationship and, you know, to like a breakup or whatever. And then you're just outside, basically, right? Well, that being outside energy is an escape it's like a defense mechanism, basically, is what they're saying right now. There's something like an escape mechanism. It's like a defense mechanism, escapism, right? It's no different than if you broke up with somebody and you just started chain smoking. It's no different than if you broke up with someone and then all of a sudden you started picking up habits you wouldn't normally use. You know what I'm saying? Like you start, you know, neglecting yourself, or, you know, that kind of thing. I need to put some lotion on. My hands are. I just got out the shower, and I did not put any lotion on, and I don't have anything nearby. So y'all got to rock with me today. Today y'all just got to overlook it. I'm telling you, man, it's got to be the Leo on my chart, man. But anyway, yeah, it's kind of like finally you started going outside and stuff like that. You know, all the stuff that you felt like you was restricted from doing is stuff that you're doing, and but it's not for you though. You see what I'm saying? It's definitely not for you. It's not a you thing. You know, you're being called to come back to some kind of traditional energy that you used to be in. Because don't get me wrong, like being outside is cool. Everybody, you know, everybody need that experience to go outside and just, you know, hang out or drink when they want to or do whatever, you know, that kind of vibe. I dig that, right? I dig that. But there's something about your it's like you want to go outside and you want to have fun, but you don't want it where that's how you cope in life. You can't resort to being outside and going to bars and stuff like that, or picking up people or sleeping with whoever you know. You don't want that to be your healing language, okay? Because once that becomes your healing language, it's gonna put you in a situation where every time something undesirable happens, you're gonna run out and you're gonna sleep with somebody, or you're gonna run out, you're gonna start smoking, or you're gonna start eating again. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like a stressor that's forever there. And that's basically what your ego is telling you, is like, you know, you say that you got over this person, but you really did not get over this person. And we really need you to get over this person because we have a collaboration that wants to come in to work with you. There's somebody who, or a group, or a job or something like that wants to work with you specifically, but they can't necessarily work with you, or there's something in your heart space that's blocking you from being able to like display your full your full I guess the best way to put it is they only get to see bits and pieces of you because you can't pour your full heart into what you're creating or what you do. You see what I'm saying? So that it kind of like put a limit on you. It kind of like blocks you. It kind of put a limit on you. And I know you're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Ideally, it shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? But all of this is stemming from that heart space where it's like, oh, I'm going to do this to get over this person. When in reality, it doesn't hurt to sit in your feelings and your emotions and feel your emotions and get it out. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do it around everybody and all that other stuff. And true enough, a lot of people don't, because everybody has their own reason. You know what I'm saying? Me, myself, the reason why I didn't is because my way of mourning was different. You know what I'm saying? I mourn people before I release them. So if I'm going to let somebody go, I mourn them before I release them. And that's for a reason, because when I mourn them after I release, that right there leads to you doing like all this other unhealed stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like taking out what that person did to you on somebody else. It manifests itself in a variety of different ways. So one thing I had to learn is like, you know, it's better to mourn that person in their face than it is to mourn them behind their back, or mourn them once they're gone, or mourn what you once had. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's basically what it was. It's like, you know, it's like you're in a situation where it will help you to mourn whatever this is, because the way that you're mourning it right now, you're hoarding your emotions. And when you hoard anything, it turns toxic. You see what I'm saying? But yes, there's definitely some kind of partnership, or somebody who wants to team up with you, or a group that wants to work with you. There's something about a job, or maybe even not a job, but like I say, like it has something to do like a group. It's something about a group that that all of you guys might have something in common, like, all of us draw, all of us do this, or all of us do that. Or it even could be a group where it's like, we need this done, but I like this person's work, but it's just missing something. You see what I'm saying? And that that heart space, where that something that this person is looking for, it's occupied by you trying to escape a relationship from the past. Because yes, you were wounded, and I'm just going to call it out. You were wounded. You did not take the time to heal yourself, and yes, it is affecting your money. You see what I'm saying? See how that works? And like, you know what I'm saying? And it's affecting your money because there's some kind of illusion around what you're doing. You're being carefree. Like, you think like if you are in this carefree energy, that right there is like healed. But that's not what true healing is. True healing isn't that. And honestly, true healing may be different for everybody, but in my opinion, true healing is when you can come face to face with that demon and still make the right decision according to your values and your virtues. You know what I'm saying? When you confront that demon and you make a decision that is contrary to what you truly believe, your virtue, your values, and your belief system, or what you believe, that right there means there's something in there that is unhealed. Okay? And even if you have to, and I'm not saying like you have to stick with a set, belief system, virtue, or whatever. No, because you're always growing and people are always changing. What you valued at 20 is different than what you value now at like 80 or 60 or 70, or, you know what I'm saying? Like the age that you are now, you value different things versus what you valued back, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, a year ago. The beliefs that you have changed, whether they have grown or they diminished. You know what I'm saying? There has been some kind of growth or diminishment. If there hasn't been any change in that, you know what I'm saying? That's a sign that, maybe you haven't grown. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you have to grow, because every situation isn't always about growth. Sometimes it's about sustainment. You know what I'm saying? It's about okay, I'll put it like this. True healing comes from you developing a system in which you can be your true, authentic self, regardless of the nature and nurture of what's going on in and around you. You see what I'm saying? So that's where true healing comes from. It comes from a space where even on my worst day, this is something that I can follow. And if I deviate, I know how to moderate it, or I'm willing to take the consequences of that. Okay? Because I'm aware. I know what comes with it. And that's essentially is what true healing is about. Which means what? There's no set way, there's no set limit, nothing is in stone when it comes to it. That's what makes healing so difficult. It's because it's a spectrum. It's a gradient. It's a degree. There's 360 degrees in a circle. It's 1 degree out of that 360, which means the other 359 aren't wrong. It's just that it's not a variable that works for you. But I can tell you that this gradient or degree of going out to party and hang out and get drunk or smoke or whatever to forget the past, that's not going to do it, because that demon is going to come back. It's going to come back. It's going to come back. You can either get ready and prepare yourself to fight it back, doing the healing work, or you can just submit to it and get pushed back into that cycle where you're going to end up finding another lover, or be put back in another situation where you're going to think, oh, this person is the love of my life. But then y'all get married and all that. Only this time it's gonna be worse. If it was just a relationship, this next one, you might end up marrying it. You see what I'm saying? Which is going to be worse, because when you're trying to get out of it, either you got to sue them to get out of it, or they got to sue you to get out of it. In my opinion, that's what divorce is, suing, being sued. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think you want to go that far. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the space in your heart that you really need to heal. And you got the justice card right here in the death slot right here, which is something that that's the core of the issue right here. You feel like it was unfair, it was unequal, it was unbalanced, and you want karma to come in to get this person. You might want that. You want that. Maybe that's what you're holding on to, that karma kicking in to get this person on your behalf. You just want it. You just need it. You crave that for closure. You see what I'm saying? You might crave it for closure. I know. I'm definitely talking to you from a point of view that, you know what I'm saying. Like I've been there. You know, I just want that one karmic thing to just right in the just you know. But in reality, it's like this. Karma will come, okay? But karma isn't going to give you closure. Seeing stuff happen to other people is not going to give you the closure that you think, because, you know, sometimes what happens is you'll see that person get that and you're going to be like, oh yeah, right? They'll move on, they'll heal, and then what happens is, I see more than often, is like that karma wasn't harsh enough. So what happens is you go back to wishing karma on that person to feel how you feel. And at any point, if they don't feel the way you feel, you don't feel like it's karma. But the thing is that it may have been the exact same thing in the exact same way with the exact same circumstances and variables, but that person has different experiences, which shifts how it turns out in their life. They might be like, oh, okay, yeah, I messed up, you know, all right, it's time for me to grow. I'm going to take this L, I'm going to grow, I'm going to move forward. And then guess what? You're just sitting there holding the bag like, no, that's not karma. That's not karma. It's got to be worse than that. It's got to be worse than that. When it happened to me, this happened. When it happened to me, this. When it happened to me, that. And it's like, the universe is like, the hell? I put them through the exact same shit you went through. And the only thing is different is that this person caught on faster than you did. So what is the problem? The problem is, it's time for you to create that healing for yourself. It's not that that healing is a pardon. The healing is not a pardon. Okay, you're not pardoning that person from what, you know, they're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? You don't pardon. Well, I ain't gonna say you don't, but I'm just saying it's not a pardon. And I think that's where a lot of people get that healing work mixed up, is like, you know, because in the Bible we talk forgive, forget. And a lot of people are afraid to forgive because they're holding on to the fact that this person did me wrong and I want them to get what they put out. You see what I'm saying? All that time that you're going through this, let's say if it's that day turns into an hour, and an hour turns into a year, and a year goes into 10 years, and they'll just keep going, and you'll be sitting there waiting for this injustice to be justified, when in reality, this is your justice. This is it right here. For you to, first of all, heal it in yourself so that you can collaborate with other people to improve your life. You're not going to be able to improve your life. You know, have you ever worked with somebody that every time they come to work, they were just mad or bitter or something always going wrong with them? How do you feel about working with somebody like that? Just be honest with yourself. How do you feel about working alongside somebody who always have a problem, always got something going on? You know what I'm saying? Always at it with somebody. And you have to work with them. And they're always trying to tell you about the other person. How do you feel about that? You know what I'm saying? Some people, they like the gossip. Some people, they don't. You know what I'm saying? Some people just like, yo, I'm just trying to get my money and I want to go home. Yeah, but still, what if they paired you with that person over and over and over? You know, every single time they come to work, you and that person is paired, and you just got to listen to this all day. It lowers other people's vibration, is the point that I'm trying to make. It put other people in vibrations that does not serve them. It's a detriment to the growth of the people around you, whether you want to believe it or not. So you have to make a decision, like, do I let this one person make my heart bitter, and allow that bitterness to bring down everybody else that's around me, my children, my family, my friends, my loved ones, my church. You know what I'm saying? Like, all those people are going to be affected by this. You know what I'm saying? Is it like, you know what I'm saying? All these people who love you, who adore you, who will do anything for you or have done things for you. You know what I'm saying? And then you got that one person that just basically pissed you off or hurt you or wounded you. Who matters the most in that situation? You have to make a decision. If that person and what they did matters that much to you, then you shouldn't even be in this reading. I'm just going to leave it alone, you know, because that's what you're going to do. You're going to go after it, whether you want to say you're not or not, you know. And at the end of the day, shadow work is all about honesty. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to convince you that this is the right thing to do. I'm just giving you the information. If you're convinced that it has to be this way, by all means, go that way. Okay? But I'm just saying that there's an alternative, and that alternative has to do with a collaboration that you're missing out on. You're missing out on a really good collaboration. Really good one. One where you could be admired. All what was wounded in you, you could find that love, that space to express yourself. Because I know I had a friend who went through some hardship, right? And you know, she was I would say she was going through depression and stuff like that. And you know, she was kind of like hoarding her emotions and stuff. And I would try to like get her to open up and express herself, and she would, you know. And it was personal stuff that I'm not going to talk about. But one thing that I did say at the end that I want to share with you is, like, a lot of times when you go through that darkness, when you go through that pain, that hurt, that sorrow, it's a good thing to take that pain, that hurt, and manifest it. Don't ignore it. You don't have to ignore it, okay? Just manifest it into this reality. You know what I'm saying? Not through, you know, the hurt and all that other stuff, but, you know, you can paint it out. You can sing it out. You can write you a song to get it out. You can learn a new instrument to get it out. You can start a YouTube channel, a vlog. There's a variety of different ways to get this energy out. But you have to get it out. You have to figure out something that you're good at. You know what I'm saying? Some people like to cook. Some people are very good at cleaning. Some people are good at creating things. Some people aren't so good. Some people like to get ideas on what to create, you know, but they have a desire to create, you know, or not even just that. It's kind of like you have a talent or whatever, right? Whether you are afraid to share with the world or not, there's some kind of talent that you have, okay? The advice will be to take that pain, that hurt, and incorporate it with the light of your gift or your talent. You know what I'm saying? And put it in a place where it's out for everyone to see. And they can see it, let them see it. Let them, you know, if they're going to judge it, let them judge it. But the reason why is because you're going to start finding your soul tribe, because people are going to start being able to correlate. They're going to be able to connect through that pain, that wound that you had. And then eventually you'll know, like, this happened, but it's not a detriment to my life. You learned how to take something that was designed to destroy you and find a new family. Find something meaningful, someone meaningful, something meaningful to replace or fill that void of the person who betrayed you and got you in this emotional energy to begin with. It's an exchange. The thing is that you wasn't done fairly, but there's a way for you to fairly get what you're justly owed. There's a way to get it. It's not easy. I'm not going to lie to you and be like, oh, it's magical. It's all you got to do. It's not that. It's not that. This is only to help you put things in perspective, because a lot of times, like I say, and it doesn't even have to be a person. You could have got terminated from a job and you feel like it wasn't fair. So what are you going to do? Just not work? Or are you going to put yourself in a position where it's like, okay, so this happened. Maybe, do I even want to go in that field again? Do I want to go back? Okay, that'll be the number one question. Do I want to go back into this field? Okay, if I'm going to go back, why do I want to go back? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? What is keeping me there? So, and then, if you say, do I even want to go back into this field? And you're like, you know what? No, I don't want to go back into this field. I think I want to do something else. I don't think this kind of field is for me. Okay, now it's time to go look at other fields, other trades. You know what I'm saying? It's trades out here where people are making $100,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? Some with zero to no schooling involved. You have options, but you're not seeing those options. Those options aren't in your heart space. You're not aligning with those options or what is really for you. You're not aligning with that because of the pain. You can't see past your hurt and your pain. And that right there is definitely it's an illusion. Okay, well, I ain't gonna hold up. I ain't gonna say it's an illusion. I'm gonna say it's a distortion. You know what I'm saying? Because that pain is very real. There's, anything your mind makes real, it becomes real. Okay. So yeah, I'm not even gonna downplay that. Okay, so next you got these the world card. Yeah, you really want to go into a new cycle. You really want new things. Just off the top of my head, I see those four corners there. In one aspect, that's Gemini. You know what I'm saying? There's some things that you really want to communicate. You know what I'm saying? You got the eagle here. There's a lot of things that you think about. With the bull here, there's a lot of different opportunities for, I guess, advancement or stability that you've thought about. You want certain things, stability-wise. There's some things that you want in your life. And then you got the lion out here, and that kind of give me the vibe that, there's some things that you were passionate about or that you are passionate about. But the thing is that you got two wands in your hand. You got two candles, two wands in your hand, two art brushes in your hand. You know what I'm saying? If you're ambidextrous, you can draw with both, but it's basically what I'm trying to explain to you. The left-hand path has to do with the hurt and the pain. The right-hand path has to do with manifestation. You receive in one and then you exert with the other. You become like a conduit. Okay? That hurt, that pain and stuff like that, it's advised that you feel your emotions with it, that you just feel your emotions with it. If you mad, you upset or whatever, do something with it. Do something with it. Don't do something to someone. Do something with the emotions that are in hand. When you master that, if I don't tell you anything else, if you learn how to master taking how you feel and compiling it with creative expression, when you combine those together, you most people end up wealthy. That's where rapping come from. That's where singing come from. All the people who became wealthy or rich, they became wealthy and rich because, well, I'll put it like this. Most of the people who become wealthy and or rich, it comes from an idea, an original idea, an original expression. Very few people get rich or wealthy off the backs of other people's creativity. And if you don't believe me, think about if you heard somebody sing the cover of somebody else's song. Yeah, oh yeah, you sound really good. You're great. But it's not your original work, which means what? You can never get paid for it. You can never get the credit you justly are due. You know what I'm saying? You'll never get the credit you're due. Go get the credit that you're due. And the best way to do that is to, like I say, feel those emotions and find a creative way, a creative outlet for it. Next, you got the Knight of Swords out here in reverse here. So with the Knight of Swords in reverse here, this has to do with like being unfocused. Yes, okay, so that's the problem there too. Your ego is telling you like, you got a lot of emotions, but it is difficult for you to deviate from your emotions to think clear enough to become, create with the energy. Like, how do I create something with that negative energy that I'm holding on to? You know what I'm saying? But like I say, that's where that energy that you're in right now comes in handy. Being out in the world. When you're out in the world, don't make it just about like getting drunk or doing the low vibration. It doesn't always have to be that. Sometimes, it's best to like, you know what? I always wanted to, and you go do that. Like me, myself, one thing that okay, so because of the job that I do, I'm always on the move or whatever, right? I always wanted to go to like a botanical garden. I always wanted to just, because I don't know why. I think I seen it in like a picture or something like that. And I was like, man, I would like to, I would want to do that. I would, go and like do like photography or something like that and just take a few pictures or whatever. That's another idea, photography, And one day I just say, you know what? I think I'm just going to go. So I go. There was basically no one there, but man, I got some of the best pictures I ever had in my life. Anytime I see these pictures, there's nothing like it. And that's from going to a botanical garden. You know what I'm saying? So all those things that you always wanted to do, you are free to go do that. Go explore that. The things you wanted to do as a child that you didn't do, or things that from your childhood, do that. Things that you always wanted to go, places you always wanted to go to, people you always wanted to meet, go for it. Go for it. You know what I'm saying? Just go for it, because you never know how this is going to lead you to a way to express yourself. And even if you do alcoholism, drink alcohol a lot or whatever, that could lead you to creating your own brand, creating a bourbon, or creating a wine, or creating, because, if you are an alcoholic or you drink a lot of alcohol, you already know what you like to taste. So why aren't you creating a brand to market that? You know what I'm saying? It's stuff like that really, where you could take the negative and I'm not saying I condone alcoholism, like, oh, if you're an alcoholic, you need to, no, because really you need to just cut that off. You need to just, but I understand, because we all got something that we need to let go that we don't. But this is just, this is kind of like, just whatever. So you got Page of Cups here, yeah. This is definitely where that wound is coming from. This is like the source of the wound. This is your heart space, right? Basically, you are not apologetic about wanting this against this person. You're not apologetic about it, and can't say I agree with it, Because if it was on the other side and I had somebody like that against my life, I wouldn't agree. That's the reason why I wouldn't agree with it, because it's my life. You know what I'm saying? Well, if somebody else is just like, oh, you know, whatever. So I'm just going to be real with you and just say this, like, right, this unforgiveness is doing just as much damage to you as it is causing you to try to do this to this other person. So basically, that is the backfire. You are blocking. You want to block this person from opportunities. Your house spouse is clouded. Thus, you become. Remember, I was telling you about that toxic energy or whatever that you're carrying. That unforgiveness. It's leaking out. It's radiating out into other people. Everything that you think, say, and or do. If you want to be that for the rest of your life, I 100% stand back. You know what I'm saying? 100%. I'll take my hands off of that. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, like I say, who's more important, that person or you? If you are more important, if you feel like you are more important than that person, that whatever, you owe it to yourself to pamper yourself and to find a way to express yourself. Because what happens is, like I say, is like you have, you know, it could cause different stuff to happen in your life. You know what I'm saying? It could cause you to, it could cause you to disrupt the flow of the love that's already coming in for you. Whether you can see it or feel it or not, I guarantee you, you have people who do talk about you. You know, especially with a situation like this, there's people who will gossip about how you're going about this whole situation. You know what I'm saying? But I also feel like there's at least one other person that's still by your side that will defend your name in the room. But you can't make that person look like a fool by carrying this unhealed energy around with you. You make it not just yourself, but that person look bad too. And oh my goodness, and then on the bottom of the card, it says creative blocks. Yeah. You got new ideas, but you're blocked. Creativity is blocked. Emotionally immature. Yeah. Last but not least, you got the Six of Wands out here. Okay, yeah, with the Six of Wands out here, it kind of give me the vibe that it is definitely time for your recognition to take a turn for the better. When it comes to you doing this healing work, I don't know who all counted you out with this work or whatever, right? You probably had a lot of people that count you out, or people who are in important, like, positions, or people who opinions carry weight in your life, right? When they see you transform, when they see you just say, you know what, I think I'm just gonna do the healing work. And you ain't got to be perfect. I'm not saying healing work ain't a one-day thing. That's something I had to learn. Like I told the other pals that, but healing is not a one-day thing. It's not I'm going to do this ritual and all of a sudden I am healed. No, it is not that. If it's that, then I don't know. In my opinion, it may not be healing. Like I say, because I don't know. But you will get the victory that you're looking for. But in order to get that victory, I think it's time for you to take care of you. You know what I'm saying? I think it's time for you to focus on you. Whatever is falling apart in your life, or whatever has been affected, you know, because you got people who are watching you. You got people that look up to you. You got people who respect you. You got people who have, you know, good things to say about you, who are willing to go to war for you. You got that. You got that right here. But you can't go to war over somebody who's, you know, torn or wounded or, you know, mentally compromised or emotionally compromised within. You can't go to war for people like that. If you go to war for people like that, it's a sign that you don't respect yourself. So if you have any respect for these people that respect you, now is the time to just take the time to do the healing work. You know what I'm saying? Find that little creative outlet and let it flow. And then your ego, and I'm thinking your ego will be able to work with you. You know what I'm saying? Your shadow, that way you'll be able to incorporate your shadow side with you. And, you know, it'll, you know what I'm saying? Incorporate your shadow inside, you know, with it. So let's see how you and your ego or your shadow self can reconcile. Because this right here is what caused the deviation between you and your shadow self. And we all know that anytime you are divided against yourself, it's easy for you to be conquered. So let's see what this see what we can get done with the ego line. You got the King of Swords out here. You got the Five of Wands in reverse here. You got the Sun card in reverse. You got the Six of Swords out here. Yeah, basically, you got the Page of Swords out here. You got the Nine of Swords out here in reverse. You got the Five of Swords in reverse. You got the Hierophant in reverse. You got the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. You got the Hermit card in the upright. Yeah, basically, all I'm seeing here is that now it's time for you to face the truth. Take ownership of your truth. Own your truth, right? Own your truth. Make a head over heart decision to walk away from all this conflict that's inside of you that this person dumped on you. Because a lot of times what happens is the person who inflict wounds and stuff on you is going through something. They don't know how to go within to fix themselves, to heal themselves. When you don't know how, when you want to heal, or you know you need healing, or you may not even know you need healing. But the thing is that whenever it comes to healing, there's no manual, okay? There's no, oh, all you gotta know. And a lot of people who know that they have to heal, even if it's on a subconscious level, the only way for them to heal themselves is to externalize it first and then attack what they externalize. So the wounds that you're carrying generally aren't yours to begin with. This is not your energy. Is basically what your ego is trying to tell you. Is like, yo, you need to make a head over heart decision. All the stuff that happened to you in this situation, it's not even your energy. It's not you. This isn't yours. The only reason why you're experiencing it is because you created a tie with somebody who was going through it, didn't know how to handle it. And then when they left you holding the bag of all that emotional baggage that they came into the relationship with, or that job came with, or whatever it may be. It was never yours. And that's what the universe is trying to teach you. But this whole time you've been trying to get back at somebody, right? You didn't realize it was never your energy it was never your energy. It had everything to do with that person and not you. So basically, you were trying to fight somebody else's battles. This entire time that you've been stuck, that you've been losing stuff, that people stopped messing with you, that stuff been hitting the fans, coming back at you and all this other stuff. All this hardship that you've been going through is from you accepting somebody else's energy and fighting their battles versus doing what you need to do to move on. And the universe is trying to get you out the way. It can't give the justice that you deserve in a situation because you're in the way. You're in your emotions and you're channeling all your energy towards revenge. They said, let this conflict go. It's time for you to just embrace your truth. Let the conflict go, right? Time to focus on your inner child. Look within. Go within. Go within. Okay? Remember I told you how you were wounded and all that stuff? I guarantee you're not the only person that got wounded like that. And I'm not saying that to downplay what you went through. I'm saying that because people connect to that. You have tragedy and you have humor when it comes to drama, right? That tragedy is addicting. It's addicting. It calls people in. Tragedy has led to fame, fortune. Every actor, in order to play certain scenes, they have to remember. So a lot of them, they have to remember a tragedy. You see what I'm saying? They have to become and embody that tragedy. Which brings me to the point. I don't know why they don't arrest actors more than they do rappers. Because the thing is like rappers, they talk about different, it's like poetry expression and they're just talking about it. But it's been scientifically proven that when you pretend to be something, you become that. So that's why you hear about actors that end up like, say if an actor perform a certain kind of role, it takes therapy for them to unlearn what they learned. So, especially ones that play like serial killers and all this other stuff, or even just people who are like LGBTQ or whatever. If you notice that, a lot of them end up having that in their life somewhere, or they end up creating that because they start living it. When you become something, you becoming is a language to the universe of what you want to draw into yourself. So that's why being an actor is a very dangerous job, and people don't understand that. People don't get that. But it's time for you to focus on your inner child. It's time for you to walk. It's, you don't have to let it all go like, oh yeah, I am completely done with it as of today. No, it doesn't work like that either. It's kind of like, you know what? Well, you know what? I can't say that. It would be good to write down all the stuff that you heard about, and one day at a time, just release a little bit of it one day at a time. Whenever it comes across your mind or whatever, like, you know what? I think I'm gonna let that one in particular thing go. I think I'm gonna let that go. But on this list, I still got all this other stuff. And take your time in releasing things that don't serve, just one by one. One by one. You ain't got to rush. I think a lot of people think they got to rush, or maybe that's just me and my perception. Like, oh, I got to rush, I got to rush. Maybe it's my energy that I'm picking up on, where it's like, I feel like it's a one and done, or I like once and for all. But in reality, it doesn't always work out like that. Sometimes, it's just best to do it a little bit at a time, just like working out, a little bit at a time till you get it all out. Even with grieving, grieve it a little bit at a time. You don't have to grieve it all at once. Grieve it a little bit at a time. Give yourself permission to grieve. Give yourself permission to feel those emotions. Not because you make it seem like that person has power or authority over you. No, it's because you have a plan for it. You're going to tap into that, how you feel, and then you're going to draw it out. You're going to write it out. You're going to, if you are an actor, act it out. If you are a rapper, rhyme it out. Whatever. Page of Swords out here, yeah. That way you can open yourself up to new concepts and new ideas. New information is going to occupy that space. That with that release, new information is going to occupy that space. Okay? And this is what's going to lead to that reconcile with the Nine of Swords out here in reverse here. This has to do with like inner turmoil, releasing worry. Yeah, that's it right there. You're releasing that worry. All that stress and that worry. You're stressed out because you're holding on to somebody else's problems. That's what this is. You're stressed because you're holding on to somebody else's problem. That's why it's important that you do that cord cutting with that the sword of Saint Germain. Most High God, I ask that you send forth Saint Michael the Archangel with the sword of Saint Germain to cut and clear or sever, cancel and rebuke all ties that is keeping me bound to this hurt, this pain, and this past. Thank you for the energy that is, I call out to this energy in the universe. The source of this energy in the universe, thank you for entering into my life at that time, teaching me what you taught me. But you are no longer needed. With love, light, and harm to none of the souls involved, I release you back to your owner. And I call back in to fill that void with whatever you do, whatever you ask for. Amen. Ashe. So mote it be. Abracadabra. Whatever you want to add on the end. I don't know. I'm not here to judge, but I will criticize you and I will laugh about it. So you got the Five of Swords out here. Yeah. So not just that, also what needs to come to an end is the plotting. Yeah, this has to do with like past resentment, desire to reconcile, making amends, desire to forgive. If you were the one who were this, sometimes I ran into somebody like that where it's like, you know, they figure it's not forgiveness unless you make amends with them. But that's not true either. That's not true. You making amends could be the worst thing ever, because that puts you in a position, that puts you in a vulnerable position. It puts you in a place where that person could lie to you and say, oh yeah, we'll make an amends. But you can't make everything. That's what make life. You can't make every single thing right. No matter what you do there, you can't make every single thing right. You're gonna be wrong, you're gonna be right, you're gonna be wrong, you're gonna be good, you're gonna be bad, you're gonna be good, you're gonna be evil. You might be straddle the fence a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But one thing you can't do, you can't apologize, right? But you can't, sometimes you can't make everything right. And that's where a lot of the healing really needs to begin. If you did somebody else wrong, accepting the fact that everything isn't, it's not up to you if the amendment happens. It's not up to you if the, you know, if that person releases the resentment. It's not up to you at that point. Your power, the power and authority that you had, was transferred to that other person. If that, you know, if that's what you need, your power was transferred over to that person the moment you made that decision. The moment you make that decision, you put yourself at the mercy of the other person when it comes time to forgive, to make amends, and to make things right. And if they choose not to, that's the judgment. Unless you want to get petty and go back and keep doing what you're doing, which does what? Throw you back into that prison, that cycle that you came from. Hierophant in reverse. This Hierophant here, you aren't going to find the healing that you're looking for in a traditional sense. Like, you know, it's, I'll put it like this. What normally heals you may not be what the medicine calls for at this time. That's what the ego is trying to tell you. Like, it's time for you to explore other options. Sometimes you could do healing, you can try to heal yourself in the same way over and over and over again. But just like what's that, Darwinism, how you adapt and evolve, maybe you adapted and evolved past the former way of healing yourself that you used to do. Well, it happens if you do it too often. You learn, you eventually you adapt and evolve into something better, because that's what healing work is. It's like, you know, let's say if you, like, based on how many people you forgive in your life, you grow and you heal. And I'm not talking about face level, I'm talking about genuinely forgive, right? So let's say you're healing, you know, you might heal yourself by journaling, okay? It's looking at your emotions and crying it out, right? That's your healing. That's your healing style, right? Now, in this situation, I wrong you, and I'll make you cry, wham, and you journal it, you cry it out, and you get over it, right? That right there is a step towards growth, okay? Now, somebody else comes, do the same thing. You do the same thing. That's another step towards your growth. And then after a while, you're going to hit a plateau. But that plateau requires you to, as you grow, shift, change, adapt, release different healing styles. I'm not saying every time you want to heal, you got to change it. No. What I'm saying is it's time to incorporate something new to it. It's time to refresh it. It's time to release this. It's time to, you know what I'm saying? When you do your healing work, it's not something set in stone. You are doing, when you do healing work, it's something that's going to allow you to reestablish your flow without detriment. So if your flow of peace flows with no detriment, your flow of harmony flows with no detriment. You know what I'm saying? It's all about that flowing with no detriment, with little to no detriment, because sometimes you have to moderate. You have to, you know, moderate it. right? Then you got the Seven of Pentacles out here. Yeah, this right, you know, you not that healing work, when you adapt in terms of your healing work and stuff like that, it's going to be a lot easier for you. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be as difficult as before with the Seven of Pentacles out here. You know what I'm saying? It's like, with the Seven of Pentacles, it's kind of like, you know how you work really hard for something and you're just waiting on something to come in? You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be that. It's not going to be that. That same energy that you use to, you know, is the same energy that you can apply to yourself and work internally. You know what I'm saying? Apply that to yourself. Working, you know, do your internal work. And as you're doing your internal work, you're going to notice that there's something there. Something is going to come up. There's some kind of spark is going to ignite in you. And when you follow that spark, it's going to lead you where you need to go. So I got one more, and I'm out of here because I don't want to. This video is already too long. I didn't do this for the other video. This is the energy that you can call out for guidance to help you with healing your heart or with whatever you're going through. Because it may not be that, you know what I'm saying? This is, like I say, this is all a perspective here. So this is somebody I'm going to suggest energy for you to work with. Because I can't say, oh, you need to work with Saint Germain. Don't work like that. You're being suggested to work with Lord Ganesh. Okay? With Lord Ganesh, I don't know if you guys, well, you can look at the story or whatever, but Lord Ganesh wants to help you change your obstacles into abundance. But in order to do that, you need to sacrifice. We see sacrifice everywhere in life. We see sacrifice in science, especially with nuclear fission and nuclear fusion, right? When atoms come together, they sacrifice mass in order to become an element, right? You know what I'm saying? Like electrons, protons, neutrons, that kind of stuff, you know, there's always a sacrifice. We sacrifice, you know, plants and animals so that we can grow. And we call that what? Eating. Call it eating. It's essentially what that is. It's sacrifice. You consume the mass of one thing to grow, to expand. Instead of sacrificing something you love, why don't you just take the mass of what is holding you down and holding you back and holding your heart space in a certain place, surrendering it, and just see, even if it's just one thing at a time, surrender one thing at a time and see what enters into your life after you surrender it. That's all I got. I love y'all all. Y'all take it easy. And video 6, 7, and 8, they coming up. Peace.